All right, all right. Thank the Lord for so much. And let the church say amen. God bless everybody. Hope and pray y'all are doing well. I'm going to dive right into this video because I want to talk about secular music. Yep. Finna throw it all on the table once again. And the question was brought to me, do God bless secular artists? Do God bless secular artists, secular music? And I want to give a shout out to my man Robbie on this because your email was very powerful. Now, I'm going to answer that question in so many ways, but you might not like my answer. So let me say this off top. To the religious folks, if you don't listen to R&B, old school or whatever, and you just listen to that gospel and you religious, this video is not for you. Cut it off. All right, good night. Peace. Moving on. Now, what's crazy is that most of us, how we got here, it wasn't off of no song called Amazing Grace. How sweet the sound. Some of y'all will catch that later. And we got too many hypocrites and not enough Christians. And my question is, how many people have been turned away from God? See, everybody that's standing up singing in the church ain't singing to God. And I had a comment the other day say, JT, you know what? You sending out confusion because you on here showing people how to play R&B songs and secular music. And you know what? I tell them, you know how ignorant you are of the word? Yes, I got all kind of music on my page and tutorials. To God be the glory. And you should be saying, JT, thank you, man, for what you have done. But people going to do what they want to do, say what they want to say. God always get the glory on my page, no matter what. But why you don't hear people say, hey, JT, good job. You are blessing us in so many ways. Thank God for you, brother. It's good to see you doing good. Brother, it's good to see that you ain't in jail. You ain't in the penitentiary. You don't have children out here. You ain't doing a whole lot of stuff. You don't get compliments like that. You don't have kids out here without a father. See, if people would get off this thing about trying to make so many other people look better than the world, when in reality we all are jacked up in so many ways, and if we don't have God, none of us will make it. Let me tell you something. This whole thing about this word secular, it gets on my nerve. It gets on my nerve because here it is, folks want you to be like them in their religious ways. If you don't like something, shut the hell up and don't listen to it. I'm being real, people. This is just out of love in this video. Because religious folks listen to a lot of secular music, whether they say amen and agree with this video or not. If you can ever catch some of them slipping by themselves in their car, and then you'll see what they listening to. And all this stuff about you going to hell or God don't like this. I can't get on camera or off camera and tell you what God like. What kind of music God like. I ain't never died and went to heaven and can come back and tell you what God like. I'm not that bold. I wouldn't even dare say nothing like that. And people just being hypocrites. This whole thing about music, where does music come from? I did an old video called Pastors, What Do You Make Love to Your Wife Off Of? Y'all can check it out if you want to. It's on here. Hypocrites who love secular music, but they don't want you to see them listen to it. This is what folks are doing. Now, secular artists, secular music. Like I say, I'm so sick of this word secular and so many people, religious, dwelling on this. What you like is what you like. All these videos up, oh, Whitney Houston and have God and her, she's in hell now. How do you know who went where? How do you know how close Whitney was to God or not? See, these type of people need to be very careful. That's why I say if they would stop being hypocrites all the time. And I have a lot of R&B piano tutorials up. That's why I say if you ain't religious, if you are religious, my page ain't for you. As a matter of fact, the song that Pop just sung, did you hear the message in it? Did you hear the message in it? See, let me put it to you like this. I ain't God. And once again, I can't tell you what God listens to. I can't tell you what kind of music King David played to calm those spirits down out of Saul. But one thing I do know, that your gift is for earth. Think about it. When you get into your glorified body or spiritual body, you're not even going to get sick no more. You're not going to have no more pain. You're going to be in a body that will never age, that will never die. So that right there alone shows me that whatever God bless me with, I need to be doing it right here, right now. And yes, we can be real. It's a lot of people out here doing terrible things. But that's all over in the world. And especially in the church. That's why I say your gift is for earth. God is so all about love and judgment. He's a just God. But if God is love, here's my question also. If God is love, he created marriage. Why are you sending people to hell for playing wedding music? Oh, JT, that's the devil music. You can't listen to the Isley Brothers and Barry White and all of that stuff. That's secular. Who said so? Who said that's the devil's music? These saints, I wonder why this word secular ain't even in the Bible. Worldly. Let's look at secular for a minute. Worldly things. Now, this thing, when you talk about secular, look at how many people put this in so many categories. Well, you can't play dominoes. That's secular. That's what the world do. You can't dance. You can't swing dance. Let me tell you something. My mama teaches swing dance. I done heard people say, well, if you swing dancing, you're going to hell. If you listening to that R&B, you're going to hell. Well, that's your belief. Stop putting everybody in the hell because you don't do something or you don't like it. That's the devil's music, JT. Well, the devil been riding in the church house for a very long time now. A very long time. People always talking about, let's just be real. Look at all the folks in the world. Now, let me get back to my boy comment, which was very powerful, because you made a good point about all the, the artists that have made it and have died because of the drugs, the drink, the smoking, the women, the fame, everything went to their head. I agree with you. Everybody is different and they make their own choices. But look at how many people that are still left that ain't got caught up in that. Now let's flip that. Look at how many people in the church are doing the same thing. How many more homosexuals done died in the organ because they had on the organ at church minister of music because they was gay? They got caught AIDS. I know quite a bit of them. How many drunk deacons or dope, they done died on dope, OD. Yes, in the church. So when you trying to make the world look worse than the church, you got to be careful with that because it's hoes in the church house. It's thugs claiming to be preachers. It's pimps still claiming to be preachers. So you got to be careful with all this pinpointing and talking about who's going where and, oh, that's secular. So what do you call it in the church? Yeah, you can't get no amens on that. That's why I say everybody in the church ain't singing to the Lord. You got weed smokers in the pulpit. Weed smokers on the musician staff. Why you steady pointing fingers? Preachers who still think they done put, what they have done is put the pimping game in the church. Person told me the other day that God don't bless secular artists or they music. Now, that's a touchy question for most people, but not for me. Because I am tired of people trying to make others be like them. If you holding it down and religious, like P.P. Jones told me a while back, if that's what you got to do to keep you closer to God, to be holding it down and religious, then keep being like that. But stop trying to make other folks do that. So in other ways, they're saying anything that ain't in religion is secular. That's why I say playing dominoes take you to hell. Watching movies with cussing in it. And the sad thing is, half of these people sitting in the church go home and cuss each other out harder than folks they talking about. Ecclesiastes tells us that it's a time and a season for everything. This is why you hear me on here oftentimes talk about Steve Harvey and how he is one of the main people that I listen to. But people can't get past, oh, he cuss. Steve Harvey have preached more sermons and kept it real than most preachers that I know. And I know a lot of preachers. Charlie Wilson last concert that he did, he testified on stage and took them to church because he was talking about that cancer. And he had a testimony out of this world and how he wouldn't be here if it wasn't for God. So how is singing Ribbons in the Sky to a married couple secular? I don't know about y'all, brothers and sisters. Music relaxes me. And I ain't talking about gospel. See, depending on what kind of mood JT in, it's going to determine what I want to listen to. Especially like if I'm working out or whatever the thing is I'm doing. I don't want to hear no gospel. But we are all different. That's why I say if you don't like something, don't listen at it. Why criticize everybody else? Why put others in the hell because you don't want to hear Earth, Wind, and Fire? I know I just made somebody mad. You got all these gays in the big time gospel field and all the church folks getting mad talking about rappers and gangsters and the women and what they doing, R&B singers, and these preachers in the pulpit selling salvation. Homosexuality taking over the church. Ooh, I done made somebody mad. So when you talk about God don't bless secular artists, let me tell you something. God don't bless sin, period. Whether you in the church or out of the church, if you live in that lifestyle, you got to answer to God. That's why I say when you get into your spiritual body, you don't worry about pain and suffering and all this stuff. That's why you use your gifts and your talents. You'll never get tired. That's why your gift is for right now. And when people use their gift and it ain't in the church, it becomes a problem. Oh, brother, you ain't singing for the Lord. That's why he ain't blessing you yet. And you've been singing in the church for 20 years with the same hypocrites, same building, and there ain't no growth, and God ain't even blessed you, but you talking about the R&B singer. Why your church still in the same spot, same people? Let me leave that alone. It makes me think about the Clark sisters when they came out, Twinkie and them, and how people criticized them because of the type of style, the music. Oh, they singing secular, they this, they that. The Clark sisters went through hell with this when they came out. Just like they criticized Kurt Franklin when he started doing certain things to reach the young people. But what they never did come back and say was, look at how many people Kurt had reached that started going to church now. Young people giving their life over to Christ. Now, I agree. I don't agree with a whole lot of stuff that a lot of people do. But I look at the good in what they do. See, we are all human in the flesh. But we forget that. We forget what we used to listen to. That's why I say a lot of y'all done forgot to listen to it, not me. See, when I'm going through some things, dealing with these church folks, and I might have had a bad day at church or bad choir rehearsal night, I don't want to hear no gospel when I get in the car or when I come home. I don't want to hear people singing about, oh, love, I love Jesus, and they can't stand each other. Give me some Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's the way of the world. Give me a song like Backstabbers, because that's what they doing. What they do, they smile in your face, stabbing each other back in the church. I heard more love for Jesus and the blues song than half of these church songs, these gospel songs. See, we don't want to rightly divide the word, do we? I know I'm going a little long in this video, but that's on purpose. I'm trying to just, bring out some stuff. People want to keep telling this one side of stuff. Look at Paul, what he was dealing with in the church. Sexual immorality. He was talking about that, lying and cheating, all this mess, all this stuff, homosexuality, all this stuff going on. Paul was talking to the church. But when JT addresses it on YouTube or outside of the camera, oh, you can't talk about that, brother. No, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about what you're scared to talk about. What I talk about, most preachers won't even stand on because they scared of losing their congregation. They scared their paycheck going to drop. They ought to be scared of what God going to do to them if they don't straighten up and fly right. People forget that they was lost in their life. I'm glad Jesus sat down with the sinners. I'm glad he forgave, he healed, he taught. Jesus had a big problem with the religion and the tradition of these Pharisees, these religious folks. How you going to reach a sinner if you ain't around them? Uh-oh. Many man, how you going to help me out if you don't even know what's wrong with me? If I don't open up to you and express, but now you so holy and down, many man, you can't listen at me. Say if I was a drunk. Now you can't listen at me. When you used to tell me on here, you used to outdrink anybody that came your way and smoke like crazy. So now you so holy and down, many man, that you can't listen to me. See, I can't be like that, bro. That's why I thank God you who you are, many man, YouTube family. PP Drawings, how you gonna help me if you don't know what's wrong with me? Just like if somebody see Marvin Sapp right now somewhere singing a love song or something that ain't gospel, oh, now he's a hypocrite. Oh, he ain't holy, man. They need to just be singing gospel. Who told you that gospel is the only thing people can sing? What was the purpose of love music? We make a big mistake when we go to talking about, I don't think God like this. You think God didn't love Ray Charles? God didn't love all of these great people that have passed and went on? So which one is worse now? Hollywood or the church? See, now, I'm finna close in this video. You can believe what you want, listen to what you want. But see, I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. Because y'all know me. And y'all know what I listen to. And y'all know who I am. I ain't out here shooting nobody. I ain't out here robbing folks. And I ain't out here running women and got babies everywhere. My life is in order. So I do what I do. The hell with what everybody else talk about you can't listen at this and listen at that. That's your belief. If I want to sit down and listen to comedy, if I want to put a video up tonight of a Tupac song, I can do that. If you don't like it, don't look at it. Shut the hell up. Go on about your business. Because what you don't like, a million others might love it. And just because it ain't for you, it might be for somebody else. I don't know about y'all, but a lot of the music that I listen to have brought me through a lot. And half of it is not gospel. I love gospel, but then at a time, I hate listening to that gospel. I love jazz. I love old school. I love Mays. I love the Isley Brothers. I love the Barcades, the Stylistics. I love the Teddy P. I love the Barry White. I can go on and on and on. Because I've been playing since I was little. Stuff in your mom and daddy time, before they time, your grandparents' time. I'm going to tell you something. A lot of y'all are older than me, but I will put money on it that a lot of y'all don't know more old school music than me. Who sang it, what year it came out. See, I have contests like this down here, and ain't too many people can beat me in it. Peace. Love y'all. This video ain't for most of y'all, but to y'all that understand, this is for you. Sorry it took a little longer, but here it is. Peace and remain blessed.